natural thing. I didn't want to be just any teacher. I wanted to be a physical educator because my whole life I've been in sports, and so I thought, what better way to work in my passion?
So Kayla, what do you enjoy most about your job?
I just really enjoy the relationships that I've built with my students. I want to be able to know that I am helping my students and making some type of impact on them.
And your next goal is to get into administration?
Yes, I would love to become an AP next.
The Doug Young Educator of the Month, sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering on Spring Street, spotlighting Kayla Wainwright at Holloway High School.
This segment has been sponsored by the local Edward Jones office of Lee Colvin. The host of this show and Edward Jones have an existing business relationship. This event is not a testimonial of the services provided by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Rutherford Issues on News Radio WGNS.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric, whose charitable foundation, Sharing Change, is funded by members who round up their electric bills to the nearest dollar each month as a donation and support hundreds of nonprofits. Find out more at sharingchange.org. Lee Colvin joins us today, Edward Jones financial advisor, and we've got a lot to talk about this morning. Lee, good morning to you.
Hey, Brian. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. I'm enjoying what is called Fool's Spring.
you think it's going to get a little worse before it gets a little better, huh?
Well, you know, it is February, so.
Yeah.
But it is awfully nice to be able to walk out in, you know, like a sweatshirt in the afternoons.
It is. It can be deceiving.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you're here today to kind of talk to us about how will the higher rates affect you. So we're talking about higher rates, and people are immediately thinking interest rates, right?
Interest rates. Absolutely. You know, they have definitely risen considerably over the last couple of years, Brian. But while we're already in the middle of that, we just want to discuss what does that really mean to you as a consumer and as an investor moving forward.
Well, maybe let's look at it from a consumer standpoint first.
Well, so, you know, as a consumer, it's not hard to see the effects of higher interest rates. If you want to take out a mortgage or refinance an existing mortgage, you'll find that it's considerably more costly now in terms of the interest rate that you will pay than it was just a few years ago. And in the same way, it's also true of car loans, credit card interest rates. All of these things have gone up, and it's something to be aware of as you're looking at your debts. As you pay these debts at higher interest rates, Brian, it can really affect your cash flow. So while rates are high, you may need to make some important decisions about your overall budget and your spending plans.
Okay. So as we talk about how will the higher interest rates affect you, let's maybe consider as an investor what we may be looking at.
So as an investor, you're going to find that the effects of higher interest rates, they can be somewhat more complex. That's because higher rates can have a different impact on different types of investments, such as your stocks and your bonds.
Well, maybe we can break those apart here. Stocks first. When considering stocks, how about the higher interest rates? How will that affect you?
So you want to be aware that not all market sectors are going to respond in the same way to higher interest rates, right? So as an example, the financial sector, which is going to include banks, insurance companies, brokerage firms, they may actually benefit from higher interest rates. On the other hand, smaller technology companies, which still must invest heavily into their businesses, they may not do as well due to rising interest rates, making it more expensive for them to borrow money to invest back into their company.
Mm-hmm.
So two different sectors, two different ways that the higher interest rates can affect them. Also, other sectors will respond differently to these higher rates as well. Keep in mind, though, Brian, that there's great variance within different sectors and among companies themselves. So when you consider purchasing stocks, evaluate each choice on its own merits and make sure that it really fits within your individual risk tolerance.
Okay. We have got Lee Colvin joining us here, Edward Jones financial advisor, talking about how will the higher interest rates affect you.
Tell you what, actually, let me just compound on that just a little bit more to things that you and I hit on regularly.
Yeah.
While we talk about making sure that it addresses each person's risk tolerance, because again, so many times I'll have folks say, "Oh, well, I heard this from a friend. I heard that from a family member." Let me make sure we're addressing this appropriately. We want to make sure that the investment that you choose does meet your individual risk tolerance, not your friends, not your family members. Make sure that it addresses your time horizon when you may need your money back so that you don't take too much risk in the time to get your return, and the need for portfolio diversification, because all of these things can affect the positive or negative return that you may receive, depending on the time that you have.
Well,
Can
we maybe look at other investments like bonds and fixed income investments like that?
We can. We can look at that by diversifying our investment dollars and reducing the risk of market volatility by adjusting even just one type of asset. Although diversification by itself cannot always protect against all losses, right? So if we go from stocks, maybe to even fixed income, such as bonds, interest rate movements can have significant and direct impact on these as well. When your interest rates rise and the value of your current bonds will likely fall, because new bonds can pay higher rates than the old bonds. However, you can also buy bonds at the new higher rates and benefit from bigger interest payments moving forward.
Lee, I guess the question is like almost every day in dealing with this, will the rates stay this high? Are they going to come down? Are there going to be rate cuts? And so there's just always fluctuation in this, which I guess we should come to realize that's always the case.
Brian, such a fickle world that we live in. It is difficult that there is no guarantee that interest rates will stay elevated. In fact, the Federal Reserve has indicated that it might actually start cutting rates in 2024. Now, with this is why it might be a good idea to build what's known as a ladder consisting of short, intermediate, and long-term bonds. Once you have your ladder in place, then you'll have some protection from interest rate movements. So if rates were to keep rising, you could reinvest the proceeds of your short-term bonds in the new higher-paying bonds. But if interest rates level off or even fall in the future, you'll still benefit from the longer-term bonds that you have, which typically, but not always, may actually pay higher rates than the short-term bonds that may be arising in the future.
Mm-hmm. And if you hold your bonds until they're mature, then
usually, great
question-ish.
Question, yeah. If the bonds are held to maturity, then you will continue to get the same interest payments regardless of where the market rates go. So again, even if rates go up and bond prices go down, the value of your bond may go up or down any day, any month, but you get the same interest payments over the life of the bond.
Well, it's always good to just be aware, I guess, of what's happening with interest rates.
It's always so important to know what's going on with interest rates. And, the more you know about the factors affecting your investments, the better off that you'll be in your investment portfolio as a whole.
Lee, it's been good to talk about higher interest rates and how they could affect you in different ways. And we've got like a couple of minutes here. You want to tell us about something special coming up April 10th? Every Kid is a Hero Day?
Brian, we are so excited about this. The Every Kid is a Hero Day Foundation, they are going to be hosting, in connection with Rutherford County School Board, an Every Kid is a Hero Day on April 10th, with a potential rain delay day of April the 11th. We have 2 months. We're going to be getting the word out. We're going to be asking for donations from corporations, from local citizens who care about our local community. This event is going to be specifically built around encouraging and bringing out the strength of our special needs children in all of the Rutherford County high schools. So of all the Rutherford County high schools, we're going to bring all of their special needs children together, which are nearly 400 right now. It's a large group. We're going to be bringing them together, and they're going to be at Stewart's Creek High School. We're going to have a huge day of honoring them, of celebrating them. The Every Kid is a Hero Foundation, they're going to be producing high quality comic books where each child will have their own, they will be the superhero of their own comic book.
Oh, neat.
The kids are going to have capes and masks so that they can interact and be heroes on that day as well. But we are going to be reaching out to the community over the next 2 months, asking for corporate donors, asking for personal donations. We'll be getting the word out via social media, also hopefully getting on the show here with WGNS over the next 2 months, as well as local, other local newspapers and social media addresses. So please be looking for Every Kid is a Hero Day coming out over the next 2 months. The day is going to be April 10th, and we are so excited to be celebrating the special needs children of Rutherford County and letting them know that they're not only being helped on a daily basis by our school system, but they're being supported by their local community. We want them to see the aspirations and goals and achievements that they can have for their future.
Well, that's awesome. And we'll certainly help to promote the event and get information out there to folks. Appreciate you doing that here this morning.
Well, and if I can just mention one last thing, the dollars that we will be raising, one will be going for the production of the comic books and the purchase of the capes, which will be fun for the kids. But then any remaining dollars left over, we're going to be writing checks personally back to each individual special needs classroom so that the money can directly be used in each classroom to help those teachers educate those children, give them more promotion, give them more advantages for the future here in Rutherford County.
All right. We'll get some links on our website as well, and good luck with that. Let us know how we can help.
We sure will. Thank you so much.
All right, Lee. Lee Colvin joining us today, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, and you can give his office a call if you'd like to find out more about that or about what our topic was today, higher interest rates, or any of the Edward Jones Financial Advisors here in Rutherford County. Don't forget, listen to WGNSradio.com/listen, or go there to see where you can watch and hear your live and on-demand shows. Yep, Big G TV got links there on our website. Have a good day.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home.